and hopefully it doesn't, because that would mess up a lot of people. So, but as you might have heard, that yesterday he was flown to a military hospital. Plus, the issue with Trump is obese, and he's 74, so he's got everything going against him, which is, coronavirus quite deadly for people above 60, and if they have some underlying health conditions. So Trump definitely has an underlying health condition, which is obesity. So he must have some kind of heart issues and asthma issues and breathing issues, which is deadly when it comes to coronavirus. So if right now, Dow, on that news that came out yesterday that Trump had a coronavirus, we had a massive fall in Dow, all the way back. It dropped all the way back to 2720. But then over the time that market picked up, and it closed yesterday around 2775, which is above this support level, which is a very strong support level, because Dow has been highest. It's the highest is even 2959. It's never been as high as that, and this is the support level that has dropped before. It has broken the support level on 24th of February, which is this year, and then rose quite strongly above the support level. So a very significant support level. We can clearly see that price doesn't really break below the support level, and we also have a 50 MA support at this level here. So another scenario could be that if Trump, something happens to Trump and he won't be able to run the elections, and they have to, promote Mike Pence, which is the vice president of America, as in the race against Biden, what will happen is you see a stock plummeting quite strongly, because, nobody knows Mike Pence. Nobody knows what his policies are. And Biden already is talking about corporate tax cuts. So he's going to be increasing some corporate taxes all over the board. And he's talking about, green, lot of stuff which doesn't go well with investors, for big companies like Amazon, and a lot of technical companies and a lot of other big companies. Doesn't really go well with them. That's why when Trump, when the news came out that Trump has coronavirus, the oil dropped about 3%, because a lot of companies stopped a lot of production because they didn't know what's going to happen with him. And Biden has is leaning towards more green economy and stuff. So that affects a lot of big companies that use a lot of oil and stuff. That's why we could see price dropping, pairs dropping, such as, stocks dropping quite low, back to lows of 23,600, which is a quite strong support level. It was this level at about 8th of May, in April and May. So we could see stocks dropping. And if that happens, that would give a very strong rise to, DXY. So DXY would be really strong if that happens, because when stocks are dropping, usually dollar rises up. So you must have seen yesterday, there was a quite strong rise in dollar. Let me show you. Let me just zoom out. So this was the point. This was the price when dollar started rising around 130, when the news came out of, NFP news came really bad. And that was really bad because, employment went really down. And on that news, a lot of stocks dropped, plus coronavirus news. On that basis, we had very bullish momentum in, in dollar, because when stocks drop, dollar usually rises, and retested the levels of 94.40. But, the market closed in a very strange ranging mode. So, didn't really do much of it at the end of the day. So this is a range mode right now. The market isn't currently, we can clearly see here, market is ranging. So what could this mean is market is waiting for the news over the weekend. So, any development in Trump's health over the weekend, by Sunday night, if you see any more, let's say if they say it's getting critical or something's happening, that's going to affect the market quite strongly. And if the market opens, on bearish sentiment for Trump's health, we could see dollar actually breaking above the highs of breaking this resistance level, rising the highs of 94.53. So that could be a very significant level for dollar to rise if there is any kind of development into Trump's health, that Trump is getting worse and worse day by day. So keeping a close eye how dollar really reacts to that news. That would mean pairs such as GBPUSD, we can clearly see the GBPUSD as well ranged around this 4-hour downtrend line. So I'm going to zoom out quickly here. Yep, this is a 4-hour downtrend line that we have drawn here. So price hasn't been respecting the downtrend lines since 1st of September. So we can clearly see that yesterday GP did try to break it a couple of times, but every time it does try to break this level, it fails. And if we see a dollar rising, then the next target for GP would be dropping back to the support levels of 1.282. Could be a support level we could be reaching by the end of Monday. Because that could be a very strong level, because we clearly see a lot of dojis. If I just zoom in, the amount of dojis we are seeing right now is such an indecision in the market right now at this trendline resistant level. That means buyers and sellers are so strong right now that none of them could be none of them is actually laying the price go through anyway. So it's just stuck right now. And if this deadlock breaks, that either way, up or down, is going to be really, really volatile for GBP. So it could actually drop about 100 pips and go up 100 pips. So we'll be keeping a close eye on GBP. GBP could be really, really volatile at the start of the week next week, and that's one of the pairs we're watching in coming next week. Another pair we're closely watching is, of course, EURUSD. As you guys already know, EURUSD is the most traded pair in the world. Is the most volatile currency in terms of liquidity, has the highest liquidity among all the pairs. But overall, we can clearly see that it's dropping on hourly time frame. We can see it's dropping. Let's go to daily time frame. We can clearly see that it's just been ranging, hasn't been really doing anything. It's been ranging for quite a long time now, since 29th of September. It's just been ranging at this support level, because that's quite a significant support level. This 4-hour support level, this line here. So as long as price is at this support level, we could see euro going up. But if dollar rises over the weekend, on the negative news from Trump, we could see this could be the next target for euro. Euro has been here about on 27th of September. We could see euro dropping back to the lows of 1.1598, and if the euro reaches here again, that could mean a buying opportunity for us. That could be a buying opportunity. But if that level breaks, euro is going back to the lows of 1.156, which it did try to break, but there was a buying pressure last time, 20th of September. But this time, if it reaches at this level, is a major news. Last time there was such a major news, unemployment was down. This time when the euro went up, unemployment came really good. That's why stocks rose and dollar dropped. But if this time something happens to Trump, euro is going to actually plummet quite low, because that is a bad sign for US stocks, and that's people are going to start selling stocks and buying US dollar. And if they start buying US dollar, usually euro drops back to lows of 1.5914. But on contrary, so for example, if something happens to Trump and there's uncertainty in the market, we will see gold rise quite strongly upwards. So if I should go to a short time frame, gold currently in a trend channel, so you can see this trend channel of gold right now on hourly time frames, currently testing a support level of this trend channel, which is at 1899, 1900. Basically, you can see it is a pivot level. So if there's a negative news for Trump's health, we could see gold rising back to the highs of 1919. So gold could be making a new higher high by end of next week, so rising maybe 1925 or even as high as 1950 by end of next week. So it depends on how the news comes over the weekend. So that's our outlook for gold, guys. Testing a quite strong support level, but again, if this level breaks, then we could see gold dropping back to the lows of 1878. Could be a valid support level for gold. But if this level holds, gold could rise as high as 1950 and even higher, because we can see that last time when gold really dropped from 1950 was a straight drop. So usually when a straight drop happens, when it starts going up, it goes up straight, basically just a mirror image going up and down. So that's why if this resistance of trend channel breaks at 1921, if this level breaks, we're going to be seeing a really strong buying pressure in gold all the way up to 1950 or 1955. By the end of the week, it could easily be 1950 or 1955. So again, quite a volatile week in terms of trading next week. Let's quickly go through the news that we could be looking at next week. So we have some US news on Monday. ISM manufacturing news. Again, it's going to be really important for us to know how is non-manufacturing working in US, because this is going to be really volatile for stocks. This news is really important for stocks. Other major news we have for GP is again, Tuesday as well, we have job openings, which is really important, because this basically measures how many jobs are open in US in terms of this coronavirus issue that's happening. So again, guys, if this job lots are less, again, stocks going to drop, dollars going to rise. So they're expecting a job loss of nearly 618,000. So they're expecting more and more, jobs to be cut in US. And if that keeps happening, then that just is a bad sign for US, and that's a bad sign for economy. And what will happen is overall, after some time, dollar will start dropping as well, because everybody will be selling dollar against everything else, because they got nothing to do with the dollar, because dollar economy is just so low. So in the short term, dollar will be going up, and in the long term, we'll be seeing dollar dropping. So again, on Thursday, we have quite a few news. As I said, it's going to be very volatile week, because we have few news every day. FMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. Wow. Okay. We have again a meeting minutes on Wednesday. FMC. This is going to be really volatile, guys. We're going to be keeping a close eye how this news comes, because this meeting minutes talks about all the plans of the economy, what they'll be thinking about interest rate decisions, and all that will be talked about at 7 p.m. GMT on Wednesday. So make sure you keep a close eye at this news because this news will give a very massive momentum in all the USD pairs, especially DXY will be really volatile that day. So DXY, you know, before that news could linger around, and when that news comes out, we could see DXY shoot up or down. And if there's added fuel into the fire because of Trump's health, then we're gonna see, you know, a dollar actually going berserk this week. It hasn't been really moving. We can see from the hourly time frame, you know, not a lot of momentum in terms of trading. If I go to daily, it's just moving sideways. You know, we can see in the daily is hardly any momentum. But, you know, this week we could see some massive momentum in dollar, like something basically something like this. So you can see this momentum that happened on 18th of March. Something like this could be easily possible this week, which is going to be crazy. So again, we're just gonna check a few news out, and we're gonna jump to Friday. So Friday we have two decent news: monthly GDP for GDP. Again, very important for us to know what's happening with GDP. Again, if GDP is bad, you're gonna see, you know, GDP dropping quite strongly. So we could be seeing some kind of sell pressure for GDP on Friday. And, you know, that's it, guys. That's only the major news that we're looking at for next week. You know, FMC meeting minutes is the main one that we're looking at for dollar, because it's quite important for us to really know what's happening with dollar, to really work out the overall market conditions. Next thing we're looking at is basically, you know, vaccine. So there's a lot of talks about vaccine, but, you know, there's been talk that it's been delayed till, you know, end of 2021, which is really very sentiment for market, because market are expecting some kind of a vaccine results by October. You must have heard Trump saying that by October they're gonna have a vaccine. This could be a publicity stunt, guys. You know, imagine Trump gets sick and there's a vaccine, you know, comes out and he goes, I got cured because of this vaccine. It's gonna push the popularity of the Trump really high, and plus it's gonna give stocks quite a high rise. So, you know, it could be another PR strategy from Trump's campaign. But again, that's just conspiracy, so we don't really know what's gonna happen. But if that is something like that they're thinking of doing, is going to be really good for the campaign, because if a 74-year-old man gets cured from COVID, it's like a hope, because, you know, they're saying the old people can't survive this. So if he gets cured, it's like a good sign that it shows that he's a strong president. He's ready to, you know, take on all the kind of challenges that a normal public is facing, you know, which is COVID-19. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, please do, you know, please do ask me right now, or, you know, you can always ask me later in the day today. And, you know, if you have any questions other than that, we can always help you. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining, and hopefully you have a good weekend and a very good trading start next Monday. Thank you.